Good evening and welcome to Biz RoundUp. I am Tamiru Nimsat and we at Art Television bring you a collection of business highlights. Let's have a look at the headlines. President moves to strengthen Sri Lanka-EU ties. China looks to invest more in Sri Lanka. Tourist arrivals mark over 130,000 in May. News in detail. President Anukumara Dissanayake inaugurated a program to strengthen tax compliance and broaden the tax base, urging all citizens to file their tax returns. Speaking at the launch of the program at the Presidential Secretariat recently, the President pledged to ensure every rupee of taxpayers' money is safeguarded and used transparently. The President assured the public that strict action would be taken against any misuse of tax revenue, irrespective of the rank or status of those involved. The event marked the launch of several initiatives aimed at creating a more transparent and efficient tax system, including the Inland Revenue Department's new online tax filing platform. The President set an example by being the first to file his income tax return for the 2024-25 assessment year through this system. Initiatives such as the SI Hub system at Sri Lanka Customs and a secure mobile application for Excise Department officers were also introduced, modernizing operations and boosting efficiency. Addressing past issues, the President acknowledged public mistrust due to the previous misuse of tax revenues. He pledged to dismantle the shadow system of corruption that undermines public institutions, emphasizing the need for discipline, accountability, and a digitalized, efficient public service. He urged taxpayers to fulfill their obligations, promising them that their contributions would be protected and used for national development. Sri Lanka welcomed over 132,000 tourists in May 2025, a figure that not only marks an 18.5% increase from the same period last year, but also exceeds pre-pandemic levels, including May 2018. The latest numbers highlight growing momentum towards Sri Lanka's ambitious full-year target of 3 million visitors and $5 billion in revenue. India led the way as the top source market, contributing 47,001 visitors. That's 35.4% of total arrivals in May. The United Kingdom followed with over 9,200 arrivals, and China took third place with 8,800. Other strong contributors included Bangladesh, Germany, Australia, France, the US, Canada, and Russia, reflecting broad global interest in Sri Lanka. With sustained promotional efforts and improving global travel confidence, officials remain optimistic. However, to reach the 3 million visitor goal, monthly arrivals will now need to average around 281,000 through the end of the year. Foreign Minister of Poland Radosław Sikorski met with President Anukumara Dissanayake to enhance cooperation between Sri Lanka and the European Union. The discussions were held at the Presidential Secretariat recently.
President Dissanayake highlighted the critical role of EU support in addressing global economic challenges. He also emphasized the need for broader collaboration to counter emerging pressures from new US tariffs and fiscal constraints imposed by the IMF. Minister Sikorski reaffirmed Poland's commitment to strengthening historic ties, recalling decades of economic and development cooperation. The meeting was attended by key officials, including EU Ambassador Carmen Moreno and senior representatives from Sri Lanka's government.
The Sri Lanka-China Trade and Investment Forum 2025 opened a new chapter in bilateral economic collaboration, bringing together leading enterprises from both nations. The event was held at a hotel in Colombo last week with the participation of 115 representatives from 77 leading Chinese enterprises.
Co-hosted by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce and major trade organizations from both countries, the event emphasized strengthening trade and investment ties. Speaking at the inauguration, Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Economic Development, Dr. Anil Jayantha Fernando, highlighted the historical and economic ties between the two nations. During his speech, Chinese Minister of Commerce Wang Wentao pledged China's support for Sri Lanka's development. The event also featured discussions on partnerships in sectors like renewable energy, construction, and tea plantation development.
Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. Chinese Minister of Commerce Wang Wentao highlighted the interest of Chinese investors in Sri Lanka during a meeting with President Anukumara Dissanayake at the Presidential Secretariat last week. The Chinese Commerce Minister credited the nation's current political stability and transparent policy framework under President Disanayake's leadership.
The minister emphasized the importance of this visit, accompanied by over 100 Chinese investors, as a testament to China's commitment to strengthening bilateral ties with Sri Lanka. The discussions focused on advancing mutual trade and economic goals, completing ongoing development projects, and implementing new initiatives. Minister Wang also reaffirmed China's support for Sri Lanka during this challenging global economic period. Prominent figures from both countries, including Chinese Ambassador Q Shengshong and Sri Lanka Trade Minister Vasantha Samarasinghe, participated in the high-level meeting.
The Ceylon Chamber of Commerce hosted a special session featuring the Business Development Manager at Alibaba.com, Ma Hou-bu. The session held at the Chamber premises last week aimed to help Sri Lankan small and medium enterprises to explore new international markets.
The session was jointly organized by the Ceylon Chamber, the Department of Commerce of Sri Lanka, the Sri Lanka-China Business Council of the Ceylon Chamber, and the China Chamber of Commerce for Import and Export. The forum was also attended by China's Minister of Commerce, Wang Wentao, along with a delegation of over 100 Chinese business leaders representing more than 70 companies. This event was part of the Ceylon Chamber's ongoing efforts to integrate Sri Lankan businesses with global digital trade networks. Business Development Manager at Alibaba.com, Ma Hou-bu, shared practical strategies for leveraging Alibaba's global e-commerce platform. He highlighted the use of AI-powered tools that simplify export processes and connect local sellers directly with buyers across the globe.
So Alibaba.com is a B2B platform. It's not like what we all know about e-commerce is B2C. B2B means business to business, which is from the idea of why Jack Ma founded a B2B e-commerce platform in the very beginning is that basically we can speak all the business, they are start from the B2B and then comes to the B2C. So that's why we can see it's the same trend. We have the B2B platform, and then we have B2C platform, Taobao in 2003. And then we found out the questions about e-commerce, how we can build up the trust between buyers and sellers on money transactions. So now we have Alipay in 2004, after we have Taobao, and then we have Alimama. So what is Alimama? Alimama is the data analysis platform and service for all the sellers on Alibaba groups.
President Anukumara Dissanayake visited the 20th Build SL Housing and Construction International Exhibition during the weekend. The event, organized by the Chamber of Construction Industry of Sri Lanka, held at the Sirmawa Bandaranaike Memorial Exhibition Centre.
Featuring nearly 280 stalls, the exhibition highlights eco-friendly materials and cutting-edge technologies, attracting over 30,000 attendees. The President toured the stalls, interacting with exhibitors and attendees, while also awarding tokens of appreciation to the event sponsors. Officials from the Ministry of Urban Development and leading industry figures, including Chamber Chairman Jayantha Pereira, were present at the event.
Over the past 2 decades, Build Sri Lanka has become much more than an exhibition. It is evolved into a powerful platform for dialogue, partnerships and progress. And we have heard in the speech that in this year there is a clear increase of sponsors and exhibitors. So that's a kind of sign that industry construction field is moving forward. It brings together not only the best minds and businesses from Sri Lanka, but also an ever-growing network of international stakeholders, creating a collaborative ecosystem focused on sustainable development.
Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. Sri Lanka's trade deficit in April has nearly doubled compared to March, driven by high exports and slower export growth, according to the central bank. The trade deficit rose to $717 million in April, up from $396 million in March, which is an over 80% month-on-month increase.
Year on year, the April deficit also surpassed the $558 million recorded in 2024. Exports in April grew by 10.4% to $968 million, while imports surged by 17.5% to $1.68 billion. Despite these increases, April exports fell short of March's record of $1.24 billion. For the first 4 months of 2025, the cumulative trade deficit widened to $2.25 billion, with the export earnings rising 6.4% to $4.3 billion, mainly driven by textiles, spices and chemical products. Meanwhile, imports surged 12.7% to $6.57 billion, with significant growth in machinery, vehicles and transport equipment.
Representatives from the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company met with Minister of Energy Kumar Jayakodi, discussing key opportunities in the petroleum sector for the two countries. The meeting was held at the Presidential Secretariat last week.
The two parties explored potential supply and investment projects, including a long-term agreement to supply crude oil to Sri Lanka at reasonable prices. Discussions also addressed enhancing oil refining capacity and strengthening Sri Lanka's role in the regional petroleum market. Key attendees included UAE Ambassador Khaled Nasir Al-Ameri and ADNOC Senior Vice President for Crude and Condensate Abdullah Al-Qabaisi, alongside senior officials from both sides.
The Central Depository Systems, a subsidiary of the Colombo Stock Exchange, has partnered with Sampath Bank to streamline the process of opening inward investment accounts for non-resident foreign individuals.
The Memorandum of Understanding signed between CDS and Sampath Bank enables foreign investors to request inward investment accounts directly through the Colombo Stock Exchange mobile application. This innovative collaboration ensures efficient and compliant account setups by facilitating the exchange of essential information between the two entities. Commenting on the partnership, Colombo Stock Exchange CEO Rajiva Bandaranayake stated that integrating the IIA process into the CSC app removes friction points, offering faster and more convenient access to Sri Lanka's capital markets. Sampath Bank's Managing Director Ayodhya Idavela Pereira emphasized the importance of enabling secure and efficient entry points for global investors, contributing to Sri Lanka's investment landscape.
With that, we wind up for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. See you tomorrow with State of Business at 7:45 p.m. Take care and good night.